Hi, thanks so much for having me. Is it better if I, can you see me better? I don't know, I think,
You're fine.
yeah, without it, right?
Kick it out of the way.
All right, kicked out of the way. I love how this exhibit by Margaret Garcia has inspired certain poetry, like the poetry that Luzma brought up, really ties in some ways to the poem that I wrote for this event. And in preparation for writing this poem titled Unaddressed, I was checking out Margaret Garcia's painting. I think it's American Dream, the 2020. So it's the paletero in the back over there. And then there's also, there was one that really caught my eye. I believe it's called Progress and Prayers in the Meadow. And I want to say it's when you first come in, it's on the right-hand side and that first hallway. And I was also reading online that this collection was here, or began at this museum in 1985. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I was reading online, and I thought that was really interesting because I was born in 1985, and so I thought I was just thinking about the ever-changing political landscape just in my own lifetime, and how Margaret Garcia's work is a reflection of that. I think Brown and Unaddressed was the title of a collection, or I don't think it was just one particular piece, but anyway, that's where I got the title for this poem. One thing to note is also, so I'm going to go through. Actually, I won't explain that. There's one thing that I do reference. I was going to pull it up, but one thing I do reference at the end is apparently in November this last year, Nicaragua stopped their visas, or no longer have visas for Cuban immigrants. And so now, and currently, Cubans are the second largest Latino population who are crossing the border into the US. So I do make a reference to that at the end, just so you know where that came from. Let this be nothing less than a story of resilience, for this will always underline unrest for the unaddressed. As in, ¿me ves? Do you see me? El paletero, arm broken to comply. Do you see me? El florero, letting colors fade to graying skies. Do you see me? Presos, detention, where not even colors survive. Unaddressed, as in, are these not Lady Liberties homeless? Pero si me ves, parked under a tree, windows up for something like privacy, me ves? Fingers scrolling through an American dream, another life beyond a screen, tierra exclusiva. Are these not your huddled masses? Solo con que no te pases. But who are more homeless than the unaddressed, as in nameless? What of a name for a home? Belonging for direction, with something left to mentor, with something left to mention. What's a Chicano with no movement? What's land with no borders? Sin dirección, we are all uprooted. Headline reads, man crosses liquid highway, one leg. Resilience, a difference between floating and swimming. Thank you. Actually, before I sit down, there was one thing that I did want to mention. You know, when I was first checking out Margaret Garcia's work, the first thing that really struck me was the vibrancy of the colors, and it brought me back to this article I once read about prisoners who had just gotten out of like lengthy prison stays, and what color meant to them outside of whatever center they were in. And I just wanted to read two quotes because they reminded me of what people don't always have. You know, color isn't always a right to people. It's not always available. It really can be a luxury. So this is a quote, and I'm happy to let you know what article that was from. I have it in my phone. Spent 6 years behind bars. When I got out, the biggest shock was the beautiful sights and colors. I forgot how gorgeous nature was. And then the second quote. The morning he got out, his grandmother picked him up and they went to Target. He said his eyes were hurting because he hadn't seen the color red in years.